Hi everyone, welcome back to our Facebook Live sessions. I'm here today with Dr. Alison Hill. We're going to be talking about all things MSc Human Nutrition today, so thank you Alison for joining us. Can we start by just getting a brief overview of the course?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so I'm delighted to be able to talk to you about the MSc Human Nutrition. It's a 12-month intensive programme. So the first 2 semesters are taught modules generally, and I can go through those shortly. And then in the summer module, semester 3, it's an independent research project. So it is 12 months starting in September and then finishing the following September.
Okay, brilliant. And you're based in Coleraine?
We are indeed. So Coleraine is about an hour north of Belfast. And it's very scenic.
Yeah.
Lots to do there, but it's you know, and it's a nice campus in itself.
Yeah, and Game of Thrones territory as well.
Indeed, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
plus the recent golf.
Exactly.
Plus the sandy beaches.
So much going on. It's a beautiful part of the country. And you've mentioned, Alison, about the modules that are taught by experts in nutrition. Can you tell us a wee bit more about the different modules?
Yes. So the modules are really very clinically orientated. So if you're interested in nutrition, it's about the applied nutrition, and that's what the focus of the course would be. So in semester 1, we start off with biochemistry. There's a module on that. Then there's also a module on applied nutrition. There's a research module, and then as well as that, there is a module on nutritional assessment. So those modules are all core modules, and you don't have any choice. In semester 2, depending on your background, so we look at each student's individual background, and if students have covered, for example, food science, then it may be an option that they don't need to take that module. So in semester 2, there's a food science module which may be optional depending on your background. There's public health nutrition. There is also another module on diet and disease, again, which is very clinical, and that module specifically looks at conditions, for example, liver disease, renal disease, and we talk about the diet and the diet required for those modules. So those would be the 2 taught semesters, and those are the modules. As we mentioned, they're taught by experts, those experts being well-known nutrition experts and also dietitians teaching those modules. I should also say that those modules are taught alongside other courses. The majority of those modules are, and it really depends on which module that you're in. Some of the modules are taught alongside master's students, and some are taught along beside BSc students, and then you would have different assessments and assignments.
Fantastic. And is there a placement element within?
No, there's no set placement working within a nutrition industry or dietetics industry. However, the research module itself takes place during semester 3, and some students may have a placement as part of that. So depending on the project that's allocated. So those projects are allocated to students based on your choice. So you, the student, receives a list of about 30 projects, and then you rank your top 5 choices, and from those choices then you're allocated one of those research projects. So it really depends on the student as to which project that they are really interested in, but it might be like a placement, but not in the food industry, not outside the university necessarily.
Yes, absolutely. Can you tell us a little bit about the assessment element? Is it typically coursework or exam-based?
Okay, so each of the modules have their own assessment methods. Most of the modules, I should say, are a mixture of both, to be honest.
Okay.
They're coursework and exam. So what we mean by coursework is, for example, on applied nutrition, you would go to the kitchen, you would cook a meal for somebody with diabetes, and then you'd write up like an assignment based on a case study. So case study approaches, that would be a typical one. Another example of coursework would be a class test. So some of the modules would have different types of coursework, and then obviously the exams are held within exam periods, and most of the modules do have an exam. Okay. So there's contributions from both to the final mark.
Really good. Yeah, there. No, that's great. And what types of student does the course typically attract?
Okay, so to get onto the course, you have to have a science background, and that is important. So there's a wide variety of students apply for the course. All of them have a BSc previously. So there's a mixture of students, food science students, sports students, all kinds of different students are attracted. So it's really a student applying for the course that wants to get a deeper and in-depth knowledge of nutrition and also clinical nutrition. itself, because it is quite a clinical applied nutrition program.
Okay, fantastic. And then after graduation, what roles do you find that students typically progress on to?
Okay, so I suppose it really depends on the student's background. So if the student is coming in with a specific degree, then it's more likely that they would go down that route. Research is a big one, so students would come on, do the Master's Human Nutrition, and then possibly apply for a PhD. Some students go on and try to do teaching, so they would go into some teaching courses. Some would also apply to do dietetics, which is a different program, and it's more applied within a hospital setting. And some students themselves would go and work in nutrition. So some of the types of jobs within the UK students would work in would be like the Food Safety Authority or the Food Standards Authority, some of the food companies, and we would have like the likes of Kellogg's or some of the dairy companies, and some of them would go and work there in various different research, or indeed things like labelling, food labelling, those kind of things. It really just depends on the opportunities and the background of the student and where the student wants to live.
Fantastic. So there's so many paths, really.
Yes, there's a variety of paths that you can take afterwards.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much again, Alison, for joining us today. And thank you for watching. If you've got any further questions, feel free to comment below or send us an email at global@ulster.sc.uk. Thank you.
Thank you.